Hello everyone, welcome back to the last chapter of Patty Reed's Doll, Chapter 19, Sutter's Fort. Soft spring rain fell on us as we descended to the beautiful valley of the Sacramento, and we heard the songs of birds for the first time in many months. It was 40 miles, they said, from Bear Valley to Sutter's Fort on the Sacramento, but it was the best 40 miles of the whole long journey. After the shower, the sun came out and a rainbow arched the western sky. "Grandma's rainbow," Patty whispered. "Dolly, it reaches from heaven down to Sutter's Fort, and there are Jimmy and Puss and Mother coming to meet us." Beside a warm, dry fire in a neat bedroom, Patty's mother removed her dirty, ragged clothes, bathed her, and dressed her in a fresh, clean one. She was about to bundle up the old things and throw them away when Patty reached out for the dress where I was hidden. "Please don't be angry with me, Mother, for bringing Dolly too," she said, as she drew me out into the light of day. I could not see at first, it was so bright after the long darkness, but I heard her mother say, "Be angry, dearest? Of course not. I am only happy to think you had a little friend to comfort you through all those days of misery." And so I stayed with Patty always. She could not bear to part with me after all we had shared together. We had been pioneers across the plains and mountains and deserts to California, and in that long year since we had left Springfield, we had known the worst suffering that pioneers can know. Mr. and Mrs. Reed and their 4 children soon recovered from their terrible ordeal and were healthy and happy once more. Many of the others were not so fortunate. The little Donner girls were orphans now, and many others had perished in those snowbound mountains. Their tales were told so many times in the Reed household that I committed them to memory, and should I be asked, I could recount them from beginning to end. As the years went by in a beautiful land where there was never any snow, Patty and Puss and the boys grew up. Patty had a large family of her own and at last became a grandma just like her dear grandma we had known so long ago. She kept me carefully in a box of relics in her bureau drawer, a lock of grandma's hair wrapped in lace, a little knife and fork and spoon, and the tiny glass dish she had picked up that day when I fell out of her pocket on the desert. These all lay beside me on her father's big mitten, the one which had concealed the crumbs that had saved her life. Now and then she opened the box and allowed her children and then her grandchildren to caress me with their soft fingers. I wished that they would take me with them out in the world again, but Patty would not let them. She told them gently, "She is very precious to me, my oldest friend, and some day she will be the sole survivor of the ill-fated Donner party. Then she must go back to Sutter's Fort to tell the story of the children and their dolls who crossed the plains in 1846. And that is the end of Patty Reed's Doll. The epilogue says, after their rescue, John Reed took his family to San Jose, California. In 1856, Patty married Frank Lewis of Santa Cruz. Known as Martha Jane Lewis, she spent the rest of her life in that vicinity. Years after her death, her family donated her doll to Sutter's Fort. And that's the end. Thank you.